Hello, namaste everyone, and welcome back to our podcast. In the last episode, we discussed the meanings of few spiritual jargons, some specific technical words, and today is going to be the part two. We are going to continue with more such terms and hope to explain it to you in a clear and easy manner. We have with us our Dr. Aashwini today. Hi, Dr. Aashwini.
Hello.
So happy to have you and thank you for all sharing all your knowledge. So let's start where we stopped last time. Our next word for interpretation is integration. Ashwini, can you explain?
Okay. Yes, sure. This word is very important, not just from the point of view of spiritual vocabulary, but also because integration is where you put everything together. Integration is the process of allowing healing, insight, or shift to settle in body or life. So, you must have seen many times when people come for sessions, whether they come for healing sessions, whether they come for workshops, they feel this instant state of shift. They feel that something has changed. Their state of mind changed. They feel different from inside. After your workshop, I felt so good. I was happy after a really long time. Now, transformations do happen during workshops, during courses, during healing sessions. But what is more important is that when that transformation becomes a lived reality, it becomes a longer lasting experience rather than just being a momentary experience. Integration is the process where the transformation which has happened during the session stays with you for a long time, and it becomes like a permanent shift within you, not just for that moment. And hence integration of every healing is necessary. So when we tell you, if you ever do meditation sessions with us, you might have seen us talking a lot about now allow all that healing which has happened in the last 1 hour or so to integrate within you. It is actually that it is settling or in your body, in your aura, in your auric field, in your mind, in all states, it just settles there so that it can become a long lasting experience. So if you are in any healing session and the teacher tells you that, okay, just allow it to set, that's one of the best things can happen to you. So always remember integration is the key.
So basically, we can say to absorb it right
Yeah,
to our bones, right? Just to make it a
absolutely.
part of your energy and not just learn it, because when you learn it tomorrow, then you move on and there are other things you keep on learning.
Yeah,
But integration means make sure you actually imbibe it and
yes,
embody it. And when the time comes, you can reproduce it and represent it to
absolutely.
someone else. Yeah.
Absolutely, because if you see in after a Reiki attunement, we usually tell students to do the 21 days method of clearing chakras and
Yeah.
connecting. In Reiki level 2, when we teach the Reiki symbols, we tell students for the next 21 days work with the symbols. So why do we
Practice.
say that? Yeah,
Yeah.
because the attunement or the initiation so much shift in their energy field, in their auric field, that if they do not continue doing it for the next 21 days, there are chances that the whole shift which has happened might just, not be as powerful as when days healing is done. And hence, I always tell students when they come for Reiki classes or for any classes, I tell them that your journey is not just going to be for today, it's going to be for the next few months. You're going to, of course, it's a lifelong journey, but when I say for the next few months, it is when you learn something new, it is very necessary for you to integrate, right? And if you remember, even when we were children, when we taught any Sanskrit shlokas, we were asked to recite them often. Why? Because you allow that energy to integrate within you. The best way to integrate in anything which is, any new thing you learn or any new healing technique which you experience is to be in the same vibration.
I mentioned yes.
And to be in the same vibration is to practice it, maybe use affirmations, use journaling, use guided meditations, but allow it within you. And we also tell, after every class, we tell the students that just be with that energy for some time. So, very often I tell, initially when I used to teach classes, many times students used to, most of our classes are on Saturdays and Sundays because that is the time where most people get to participate fully. So I remember the very first or second classes I had the workshop, and one of my students said, "By what time will be done?" And I said, "Yeah, by 5:30 or 6 we would like to be done." And the person who was the participant, she went for a movie after that with her husband, and then after that they went for dinner, and she reached home at 1 a.m. at midnight. And next day she came for the class. She was all tired, and she said, "I was so tired because," and that was the time I realized that I should have told her that do not do anything after the class for yourself. And I was a very new teacher. That was among my very first classes. So after that, I always tell students that after any spiritual class, any energy class, any metaphysical class, go home, sleep, eat well, eat a good, nourishing food, have a good meal, drink lots of water, go to sleep early if possible, wake up early, because allow the energy which has worked on you to integrate within you.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah. And I think that is one of the reasons why in olden days there is the system of Gurukul where students used to go and stay with
Okay.
the teachers,
Yes.
live in the ashram. There they learn, they stay in the same energy, then they help the teacher in doing other, like assisting in teaching or even doing basic disciplinary household work so that they
Yeah.
imbibe everything as a daily
Yeah.
life
Yeah. Yeah.
routine and
Correct.
they cope with it because they go there and
Yes.
stay there for 10, 12, whatever years they're supposed to.
Yes.
So they
Yes.
cope with it and they grow up imbibing all this. There are no
Yes.
distractions. They don't go out for movies and,
Yeah.
they just do their, maybe they play with only with their team members and
Yes.
co-students who are
Yes.
also learning the
Yes.
same thing. So
You
the
are learning the same
distraction,
thing. There is no
then
distraction.
they just stay in the same energy. The
Yes.
teacher and his wife Guru and Guru Mata are like mother and father to them.
Father
They
for the child.
they
Yeah.
teach them, they nurture them. They live in the house. They live in that area which is like a big space with many rooms for all the students. And this was the reason why they were not allowed to go back and forth. And so they imbibe everything. It's like you digest, you eat, digest, and then it becomes
Yes. Very
like
true.
it goes into your DNA, it flows
It goes
into
into your
your
DNA.
veins through as as blood, and then it stays permanently with you. That is your knowledge, that is your what you have learned, and it stays with you till the end
So, yeah,
of
and
life.
thank you for bringing the Gurukul system because, a lot of things what people practiced in the Vedic times were all scientific, were all based in science because people were aware of what impact it can have on your auric field when you live there and when you study. And that's why whether it was Prabhu Shri Krishna who went to Rishi Sandipani
Yes.
in Ujjain, or it was Prabhu Shri Ram who went to Vashishta for Vashishta
Yes,
Muni for his
all of
studies.
these
All of them.
people, they used to just go there, stay there for 10, 12, 15 years, whatever the time span was. And then the vicinity is also very pleasant and open air
Very
Guru.
pleasant. Yeah.
Like it's not confined to classrooms inside. They go out in nature, they learn in nature. So it's very healthy. They spend time with the nature. So then you
Yeah.
learn faster. We have seen if we do any classes outdoors, in
Yes,
a
or
garden
even retreats. Or even
retreats
retreats.
outdoors, and the effect is much more nicer, pleasant,
Nice.
and memorable for the
Exactly.
learnings than it is when you sit in front of a laptop and I mean,
Yeah.
nevertheless, the knowledge is the same thing, but still, it's nicer. Yeah, very
Correct.
nice. Thank you. It,
Wonderful. I love talking about this.
Integration is
Sure.
very, very important. And I think this is a good message you are giving that while doing a class or a course like over a week or 3, 4 days, try
Yeah.
not to, go and different
Yes.
levels of interactions with
Yes.
different
Yes.
types of people during the course of the class. Just try
Yes.
and stay in your own energy
In your own energy.
and yeah, understanding
I
the
always
integration.
tell, go home and have a good home cooked hearty meal. Like for me, I'm a person who really likes food like
Mm.
khichdi or something, which is
Healthy
with the ghee, yeah, which is with ghee, which gives
or
me, it's
relatively
my
healthy.
comfort food.
Yeah.
Yeah, healthy and have that good food, drink water, go to sleep early. And recently, very recently in the month of January, I had gone for one of the seminars of one of my teachers. It was a 2 full day event. It used to begin at almost 8 in the morning, and it used to go till 9 at night, and it was in Mumbai. But I remember I used to wake up at 5:30 in the morning, and the whole day it used to be. So the moment I used to come home, I would, just and we would eat there. The dinner too was over there
Yeah.
itself.
Ashwini, yeah, if you remember when we did these classes together,
Yes,
even both
yes.
of us, when we used to come back home, we were not interested in talking to each other at all
To
much.
each
We said,
other,
okay, let's
yes,
go it in our own space, have
in our
dinner,
own rooms and go to sleep.
yeah, relax, but don't do too much TV, not too much scrolling. Don't read any weird news, or don't
Yeah,
talk or interact with gossipy friends. No, stay in your energy. Just learn, revise what you did in the day.
exactly,
Read your notes. Try and understand what the teacher taught, and then maybe prepare for tomorrow's class. And then just wake up
exactly.
and go to the class tomorrow. Come back. That you when you stay in that energy for those 3 4 days, or then you just learn
Yeah,
fast.
you learn
Integration is
fast.
very important, and there are some points which you can take efforts and then integrate it quickly. So
Integrate it quickly.
thank you for sharing. Our next word, can we go to our next word now?
Yes,
It's
please.
purging. Purging. So
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
mhm,
Now you must have read this word all over social media, especially when it's a full moon day, or especially when there are portals, and many people see, spiritual practitioners talking a lot about I'm purging. And people will be wondering what is purging.
mhm,
Purging technically means a release. Okay. Now the release is typically after some kind of healing work which you do on yourself, or when you get it done from someone. Um, and typically it is stuck emotions which are
mhm,
getting released after healing work. Okay.
mhm,
But at the same time, I want all of our viewers, all of our audience to understand that do not be afraid of purging, because many people say that, oh my God, after healing, purging ho jayega kya? It is like, how we empty our system every day and we release. Purging is just like that, but at an energetic level. Now, it may look like crying or fatigue, or even old emotion surfacing or energetic detox, but please don't be afraid of it. It's not a problem. It's body clearing space. And this is something I always say that I remember I did one of workshops, and after that workshops it was a very powerful workshop, and after that I learned something about energetic clearing. And for the next 3 nights, I started, before I went to bed, I started saying that, I'm willing to release whatever is not serving me anymore. And I practiced the techniques which I learned in the class. And on the fourth day, I remember I started throwing up. Okay. And
mhm,
I almost felt that, okay, I think I'm sick because I threw up. But the next morning, absolutely okay. I was not feeling sick at all. In fact, I felt more refreshed than ever. Of course, I drank a lot of water. I spoke to my doctor at, whatever medicines if I had to take. But it was just one of an episode I threw up. And after that day, what changed was a lot of things which were stuck started
mhm,
moving, because there was something which I was holding on. Okay. Now, having said that, I don't want people to induce vomitings or something like that, because,
mhm,
so please don't go there, and don't take the decision in the wrong way. And that's very much the reason why we are making this episode. Many times after healing sessions, after receiving healing, you might feel that your body is releasing something. That is also the reason we tell people to drink lots of water, stay hydrated. Again, coming back to what we spoke in integration, take good rest.
mhm. And
Okay.
eat
Don't
healthy food.
eat healthy food. Yeah. If you're going to eat fried and junk, because I also realized that day I ate something fried. I'm not a person
Mm,
who likes fried food. So it
mm,
induced, of course, my body needed that. I think I had a whole bowl of tempura, I remember. And I
Hmm.
loved it, and I ate it and overate it. And I think I threw up after that. So it's very important that you eat healthy as well. Purging can, now this was what I spoke was the most extreme thing, or sometimes people cry, or sometimes people release. But purging would also include sometimes people stay quiet, and there can be a quiet purging as well, where people are sitting thinking about things where so one of the things we tell people when they are in the purging zone is journal a lot, ground
Hmm.
yourself, drink lots of water. It is almost like decluttering, so when we are decluttering the house,
Hmm.
we are, maybe the way I declutter is I take one big bag in my hand and I move. Today
Hmm.
if I have to declutter this room, I will
Hmm.
go across, I'll see what is needed, what is not needed, I'll put all of it in it, and then I will
Hmm.
throw it away. If someone enters my house when declutter is going on, people will faint. I always say that. The house looks chaotic because everything is scattered. Yeah. And then I throw the bag away, and next day my house looks so clean because we have decluttered, right? Purging may look like that. It might look scary when you are in the process. Of course, if you're
Hmm.
going through any medical issues like, vomitings or too many fluids or something
Hmm.
like that, it's advisable to see a doctor, take the medicines. We are not telling you, but don't assume that every healing will have purging, because that
Yeah.
is something also which people say that. And if any kind of healing is causing too much purging, because I always tell my students that if it is going too much, maybe that's not the healing thing which is suiting you. Maybe stop for some days, see if something else can work
Okay.
for you. Typically when
Basically,
students,
that means their body is not agreeing with that kind of healing. Is that what you're
yeah,
saying? Okay. Okay. So they can try
but
something.
having said that, yeah, but having said that, the spiritual hygiene which we practice, okay, where we do a lot of grounding and energy protection and all of that, with that the symptoms are reduced. Or like I said, I just had one of an episode of a throw up, and after that I was fine.
Hmm.
Because when you
Hmm.
ground and when your energies are centered, you will have lesser difficult situations can happen in a very smooth manner, because purging is necessary. But having said that, don't let it be extreme. Like I remember one of my friends, she used to say that she used to take sessions from someone. After that, she would say, for a week, I cannot get out of the bed.
Huh.
Now, that is dangerous.
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
not what an ideal
Shouldn't
good
happen. Huh.
healing shouldn't happen, right? Like, for all last 15 years, I've learned from so many teachers. It
Hmm.
could be one of an episode where things are crazy, or, you are crying and you want to just release, or, but if for a week you can't get out of the bed, there is
Hmm.
something wrong.
Hmm.
Maybe that method is not. When we teach
And then
students, our
better to,
students will not purge.
yeah, and then if that is the case, then better to seek medical help rather than sitting at home and
Yes.
wondering it's purging, what is happening.
Yeah, yeah,
The body
exactly.
will know. They will know when it is too much, and like any
Exactly.
human being, you know when to go to the doctor. When it becomes a lot,
Absolutely.
you should just get up and go to the doctor rather than sitting at home and trying home
Yeah.
remedy. Well, that will not
And
work. They shouldn't do
yes,
that.
it
Hmm.
shouldn't be. And again, this with this friend who was going through all of that, because I
Hmm.
was not a therapist, I couldn't advise her something. So we all also say that's very important. I was like, talk to your therapist. That was the only thing I told her,
Okay.
and she said, yeah.
Okay.
because
Okay.
because this was like in the case of my clients, usually I always say that maybe one night you rest, maybe next day
Yeah.
you rest, but the third day you should be fine, you should be okay, don't worry. And
Yeah.
not everyone doesn't have a crazy intense purging.
Huh. So
And
yeah, I was going to ask you that. So okay, this is one side of it, but it
yes,
may not necessary that everyone will have this kind of purging after release or healing
yes,
work. And
yes,
I have also
yes,
noticed that when the people are new to healing, like when they're new to receiving such kind of energy healing, then it is a bit intense and all these purging
intense, yeah,
happen. But as they do it regularly and as they stay in the high vibration, they add on, other means like meditation, grounding regularly, then their body and the energy level also changes, the vibes
it
change,
changes.
and then every time they heal, they may not feel all these intense emotions anyway.
Absolutely.
But that
Also,
doesn't mean, huh?
yeah, that is very important what you said, because over a period of time, your body is getting used to the healing process. Like I said, what I experienced was at the start of it, over a period of time, with the spiritual routine, with the grounding routine, things started getting better. Also, because me and Anagha, we both are access consciousness practitioners, both of us. So in access consciousness, we believe a lot in ease. When we go through any
Yeah.
shift, we always say that may there be ease, because
Ease.
people, it's very normal for people to glorify the experiences they get, and at the start of healing, yes, we do see these, and one of
And
my
it is
spiritual
new.
teachers,
Yeah.
yeah, it is new. So one of my spiritual teachers says that, that also is the maya of spirituality, where, you have experiences, you see this, you see that, you see angels, you see beings, and, but when it will happen to everyone when you go on a spiritual journey. But over a period of time, when you detach yourself from that maya, and when you just see it as just an experience and not get overwhelmed and consumed by it, that is the
Mm.
time you will, slowly start getting back on the path. Because initially I used to see all these experiences, and later on I stopped seeing. And I asked my teacher that I'm not seeing them anymore. And she said that you risen beyond the maya of those experiences. Because for any spiritual practitioner, for any seeker, it's very normal for us to see that, oh, I saw this, I saw that. But now, over a period of time, that experience gets grounded. Also, like I said, in access consciousness, because we ask for ease, I tell all my students that when you do visualizations, ask for ease. Do not ask for intensity, because intensity will take your practice to another tangent. Everything will be very intense. And I tell my students, ground yourself before the practice. Every healing you do, ground yourself. You know, and be in that and ask for ease. Ask for ease. Don't, because students will ask me things like, oh, I saw this, oh, I saw that. What does that mean? And
Yeah.
yeah, it's normal to get overwhelmed by it, right? But even for purging, for any experience, I always say, because for humans, they believe that to have an experience, there has to be intensity. What if you can have experience minus the intensity? What if you
Yeah.
can purge with ease? What if
Yes.
purging can simply be thoughts coming up, you journaling them, you sitting with it, and I would also say that going to sleep early and sleep a lot. Sometimes it
Mm.
so happens that I remember when me, Anagha, and we were with our family to Sedona, which is one of the powerful vortices of Earth.
Yeah.
And we went to Sedona, and we just went the whole day, and we went to different spiritual spots and different places. And we came back home to our hotel by 3:30. We left very early in the morning, I think about 7 a.m. We were already on the trip, and by the time we came, we had our early dinner, and we were back by 3:34. And at 4:30 we slept, and we woke up next morning at 5 a.m. Next morning. Okay. And we, all of us, like me, Anagha, our other family was also with us. We all, because the energy was so much. So
Mm.
purging could probably look like having a deep sleep. But now
Yes.
when we are doing this, if you don't get deep sleep like that, please don't blame yourself and say that, oh, Ashwini, आपने तो
Uh,
बोला था नींद आती है, हमें नहीं है. Each one will have their different
different
experience.
experience. True. Mm.
And allow purging to, like, don't go into the wrongness, because after a healing session, whatever happens is happening for the good. Of course, like I said, if it's going on for weeks together, which doesn't happen in our case, when we have seen the client maybe purges for that day, and the next day they
Mm.
are okay, and we always tell them to rest. And again,
Yeah.
purging
So,
is more mind as well. Yeah,
and when they take precautions, like they make sure that you're eating well, you're drinking enough water, you're not,
correct.
doing work, energy work on empty
Yeah,
stomach. You should make sure you're eating your
yes,
breakfast, you should have your lunch on time. All these things also help in grounding and
yes,
settling your energy
yes.
rather than running on empty stomach. It's like, how you go to the gym the first time ever in your life, and first few days, first week is very
Sore
intense.
body.
Everything is sore, or even when you go back after a vacation, everything is sore. And slowly, as you settle in and you find your rhythm and you get back to your routine, it settles
Yes,
down. It's the same exercise you are doing it, but your muscles
same,
get used
same.
to it, body gets
So
used to it. It's the
purging,
same thing.
yes. So
It's
purging is just like how, after a good workout, how you feel sore when your trainer makes you do 100 every day, you're doing 50. Your trainer says today 100. And how do you
yeah,
feel? Next day you can't walk,
yeah,
right? It's same at the
yeah.
spiritual level.
That or
Same
not.
at spiritual.
Yeah, that's nice way to put it. Thank you, Ashwini. Okay. So let's go to our next word. Oh, okay, soul
Hmm.
contracts. It's
Okay. Wow. Now
pretty popular
this is
nowadays.
popular nowadays. And someone came to me and said that I want
Mhm.
to end all my soul contracts. And I said, okay, fine. So what are soul contracts? Soul contracts the term contract means. If you are saying that I gave the contract to someone, say I'm getting my house done and I give the contract to someone, and that person comes and builds my house, blah, blah, blah. I pay them and all of that, right? So just like these contracts, so these are the contracts at the soul level. Now, when are these contracts done, or when are these, they are like agreements, when are they done? They are made before incarnating. Okay. Before we
Mm.
incarnate, usually we sit with our spirit guides, we sit with our, our spiritual team, and
Mm.
we discuss why we are going to be born. We discuss what lessons we want to learn. Okay.
Mm.
Earth is a difficult school. And
Mm.
the reason we incarnate is because we want to experience that for our soul to grow.
Mm.
Again, I'm going to put the example of fitness workout. Why do you go and push the weights, and why do you do the exercises? Why do you put yourself through so much difficulty? If you ask anyone that why do you go to gym and why do you do all of that? Come on.
To
Again, 10
become
more, 15 more.
stronger and to have
Yes,
a healthier life,
healthier
yeah.
life. And we want to grow, as in we want to get fitter and healthier at a body level.
Yeah,
Just
yes.
like that, our soul, this is our soul. Earth is the soul's workout room. For the soul to learn lessons, we incarnate on earth. So before we are born, what happens is that we sit with these spirit guides and we decide that I want to learn, I want to grow, I want to evolve as a soul. And we will learn a particular lessons. Now, of course, it's not our individual life, right? I mean, of course, although it is our individual life, in life we have people around us.
Mhm.
Correct. Our life is incomplete without the people around us. And we have both categories of people. We have some ones who are very good to us, very kind to us, and someone who is extremely unkind to us. And then there are the ones in between who are neutral. Now, when we incarnate, we decide that we are going to learn a particular lessons, and we make soul contracts to learn these lessons.
Mm.
Okay. Now, as we are born, we pass through what they call state of amnesia, which means we forget why we came here, right? And we are not aware of what soul agreements we have come here for.
Mm.
But fortunately, when we learn, when we grow in life, when we grow spiritually, we get opportunities to, like I say, things like the Ho'oponopono prayer, or
Mm.
even in access consciousness, we use certain clearings, which can help
Mm.
us ease out those soul contracts or those soul agreements, so that
Mm.
if a lesson is very difficult, the lesson becomes very easy, and it's the intensity of that lesson goes away. But we all have come to earth with soul agreements and soul lessons. That's why, when you ask questions like, why is this happening to me? We don't know why are things happening to us. But the fact is that that was something which we decided to learn before we were born.
Mm.
We made a soul agreement,
Mm.
we made a soul contract that, okay, this is what I'm going to learn, and I will learn through this. For example, if you are someone whose soul agreement is about having patience, okay, you will get a lot of things delayed. Things will come to you, but very late in your life.
Mm.
And you will actually value them when they come to you because your life lesson is patience.
Mm.
Okay. Or a lot of times this happens, and this we have seen a lot in healing cases. So, a woman comes to us and she talks about someone in her husband's family who's triggering her.
Mm.
Okay. She has this quality of this person. She's like this. I don't like, very common is people who are very the ones who call them very perfectionists, and they are irritated by the ones who are not so perfectionists, and they say
Mm.
that I can't live with that person because he or she is not very up to the mark, they are not this, they are, they don't behave like this, they do it the way they want. And they come to us because they're irritated with that, and they say that I want that person to change. And we
Mm.
always say that when you come to healing for us, we are not going to make anyone else change. The only
Mm.
person who would like to change, and if they want to change, is you, as in the
Mm.
client. But through healing, your husband or your mother-in-law will not change, right?
Mm.
And after some years, you come to know that now this woman has a child who is exactly like the father, or exactly like the grandmother, or exactly like the sister-in-law who is the aunt of the child. Why are they like that? Because now there is another chance for this soul to see this person
Learn
through
and
the eyes
grow.
of love. And
Mm.
and she says that, okay, she's exactly like my sister-in-law, And now I see that, she is, now I see from where it comes. Because my own child does that, I realize initially they are irritated by the child too. They try to discipline the child, and then they realize that this is something which could be irritating for you because of your beliefs. And then
Hmm.
that person learns to accept the sister-in-law or the mother-in-law or the husband the way they are, rather than criticizing. So, so this is a classic case of how patterns repeat, how people show up in your life, and how they trigger you. And
So
probably
they,
the
so
yeah,
these are soul contracts they have signed. We have
signed
signed in advance on what we are going to learn.
on
Until
what we are
we
going
learn, it shows up again and again.
again and again.
Right?
And now she might be hating her mother-in-law in her life, but her
But
mother-in-law and she
as
could have
a
a
child, she understands it and then she
yes.
learns the reason.
And also the mother-in-law, which with whom she'd never got along, for this woman,
Hmm. Hmm.
she and her, both her souls are, the closest souls of each other. We are going to come to that in a bit.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. But
yeah,
then she,
but
so basically, her relations with the mother-in-law will also improve, no? Once she understands that,
of course, it
right?
will improve, and people have seen that change happen.
Oh,
Because here we are easing the soul contract. So her
yeah.
soul and the mother-in-law's soul made a soul contract that, I want to learn this lesson of unconditional love, of forgiveness, of having ease. And that is how she learns. And
Yeah.
until she learns that lesson, now her daughter showed up on her face.
Yeah.
It was like
So they also
straight
have
in
another
face.
soul contract. Like if it doesn't work learning with the mother-in-law, the daughter will teach her. And or
Yes.
the sister-in-law, mother-in-law, whatever the example,
Yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah.
giving. The
Exactly.
daughter will, so daughter and
The
she
daughter
also
taught her.
have the soul contract. And when she learns, then the relationships improve by itself. And if she
Yes.
doesn't learn, then a third person will show. Maybe her grandchild will be like that, the next generation. And
Yes.
this is the soul contract we have with different people
This is
for different
exactly soul contract.
reasons and different behavior. So that is the reason why some people behave the way they do, and
Yes.
we get triggered and we get annoyed and irritated, and then we just look at the outer world and saying, "Oh, I'm getting stressed and I'm getting irritated." But what is it that you need to do to improve and make sure that the relationship becomes better with other people?
Yes. Yes.
Basically, what is the learning thing? And how
Absolutely.
that is another whole section where the
Yes.
healing and the therapy and the
And that's why, but
uh,
the good part is now people are getting awareness of this, which 20 years ago people did not have this awareness. And now people are healing relationships very fast, is what I've observed in the last 5, 6 years.
hmm,
Before that, people carried that pain till the time, we say they
hmm,
carried the pain till the grave, and they,
yeah,
and they brought it back in the next life, and that's how.
uh,
But now people are realizing it, they are taking efforts to change it, which is
and they're
beautiful. So
healing it. Yeah,
they're heailing it. So yeah, so that's
wonderful.
about soul agreement, soul contracts, and I'm sure this is something which a lot of people will understand why things happen, and everything which is happening is because you have decided to learn a lesson out of it. The sooner you learn the lesson, the sooner you change something inside, you make new choices, the easier your life will be.
Hmm, nice. Sounds good. Okay, the next term is timeline jumping. Timeline jumping.
Classic, classic quantum physics term, classic quantum physics terms. Before I
Yeah.
came in this field, before I learned metaphysics, quantum physics, energy sciences, I used to
Hmm,
always believe that we have a fixed future. We are running towards the future in full speed with no control. The only
hmm,
person this was what I used to feel, that we are running at the future without any control. A tarot reader or astrologer can tell me what's my future, and then if I know in advance, at least तकलीफ कम होगी कि बुरा होने वाला है, तो शायद टैरो कार्ड्स देख के, एस्ट्रोलॉजर्स देख के पता चलेगा कि ठीक है. That was what I thought, but that was the biggest misconception. Because in my very first or second training, which I took from my teacher, she told me that, Ashwini, future is a series of choices, and what you
hmm.
choose today will create your future. And I was like, wow, you mean I can create my future? So she said yes. So I said, then what do tarot cards and astrology reports talk about? She said that they talk about possibilities. Okay,
Possible.
they don't
Yeah.
talk about fixed future. No one has fixed future. We always have series of thousands and thousands of futures waiting for us. Now, what determines your future? Your future is dependent on your choice. You make
Choice.
choice A, you create choice A. You make choice B, you create choice B. You choose choice A5, a different future is created.
Mm.
Everything will depend on your choice. Now, imagine you have been making a particular set of choices depending on your belief system. For
Mm.
instance, if you have always been told that you are not good enough, you will never excel in life. जितना मिलता है उतने में खुश रहो. So, that's why people settle for breadcrumbs. When they go for job interviews, if they are really grossly underpaid too, they decide कि चलो छोड़ो, जॉब तो मिल रहा है, मैं अंडर पेमेंट लेके काम
Okay,
करता हूँ.
because I might as well just take this one
Just take
because
this
this is what
because
it
मुझे
is.
कौन जॉब देगा, क्या होगा. People are stuck in that loop. Now
Mm.
अचानक से they attend maybe a workshop, or they get some breakthrough in their head, because of which they say that no, like many times it happens that students come to us and they say, wow, iska matlab I can make a new choice. And next time the person applies for a job which actually, according to their old belief system, was उनके औकात के बाहर. People think that ये job तो मुझे नहीं मिलेगा. They apply for the job
Beyond their capabilities.
beyond their capabilities. Yeah, I know,
They
because
think that it's
they
beyond
think
their capabilities.
it's
Okay.
actually not. It could be what they are really looking for. Now people
Hmm.
apply for that job with the new belief system.
Hmm.
They crack that interview.
Hmm.
Okay. And whatever the company is offering them,
Hmm.
they ask for more and the company agrees to it. Okay.
Agreed. Huh.
Now they have broken a lifetime pattern of settling for less, for settling for, something which is not good enough. And they have changed the course of their life. And now
Hmm.
their life becomes very easy. Now that
Hmm.
everything is coming well, the money is good, the job is good, and they say, Ashwini, magic ho gaya. Okay, what has actually happened is, because of change in their belief system, because of healing of the trauma, healing of the pain, why do
Hmm.
people not make better choices in life? Why do people feel that something is beyond their capacity? Because their sense of self-worth is very low. They feel they don't deserve. Why do they feel they don't deserve? Because they may have had some traumatic past where they did not get what they want, and that trauma stayed with them. And trauma is not necessarily something big. In
Hmm.
fact, they say that there is big T and small t. Big trauma is something very huge. Small
Hmm.
t is those little things which are putting you in,
Hmm.
in disappointment state, constant disappointment, sadness. So now they have broken through those limits and they have made a new future, which would not have been possible if they wouldn't have changed their mindset, which wouldn't have been possible if they wouldn't have healed themselves. Okay. And now they have created a different reality. So imagine they were going on a track A1, they were going on a track A. ओके,
Hmm.
तो वो चॉइस ए कर रहे थे और फ्यूचर ए हो रहा था. वही हो
Hmm.
रहा था फॉर द लास्ट 15 years. ना अचानक से they said no, I'm not going to make that choice, I'm going to make choice say C. Okay, and I'm making a choice C. Now the choice C has got more possibilities, better life, more money, more joy, surrounded by better people, but they were not choosing the choice because they thought they didn't deserve. Correct. Now they made that choice and their life has changed. What has happened is they were going on a track and they went on other tracks. So they jumped
Yeah.
a timeline.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the easiest way I can explain jumping a timeline. You actually don't jump. What happens
Yeah.
is you change the track and you go on some other track which takes you to a higher and a better reality. They take you to a reality where everything you always wanted as a child is possible. And when we go for when we do our breakthrough workshops, this is actually what happens with the people. They were going for a track, they were not able to break through some limitation, and achanak they change the track and something else they choose.
Basically, they healed themselves and they shifted their
Yes.
energy. Can we say that? They shifted their alignment.
Yes, they shifted their
They,
alignment, they
they
shifted their thoughts, beliefs,
thought,
they
and which
healed
put
their
them
energy.
on a different level than
Yes,
previously.
than people. And over the
Very
last 5 to 6 years
Hmm.
since COVID pandemic, there are so many people who have jumped timelines and they are doing better things now. I know so many people are, on this spiritual trajectory and their whole
Hmm.
life has changed. So that's exactly what a timeline jump is.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so let's go to our next one. Now, the next term is Kundalini awakening.
I don't know how much people have misused this term and how much there is curiosity about it. Like, I have received emails from people asking me, unknown people completely who watch videos, and they ask me, Ashwini madam, please tell me how to do my Kundalini awakening.
No, and there are
Like,
people asking
absolutely.
you also, like us, like both of us, like, so you're doing all this work. That means your Kundalini
Is
is
awakened.
active.
Exactly.
It's not
And
yet.
I know that there is so much curiosity about these terms, but this Kundalini awakening is a very powerful practice which happens, which is a yogic practice actually. The life force energy rises through the chakras. So, we have seven main chakras in the body, and of course, then there are higher chakras, and there are so many chakras. But typically, Kundalini or the dormant energy, they say, is she lies dormant at the Muladhara or the lowest chakra in the
Hmm.
energy body.
Hmm.
Now, as you start spiritually awakening, okay, the Kundalini starts arising.
Hmm.
The Kundalini starts arising from Muladhara, and it goes up till Sahasrara, and that's the whole process is called as
It is called
Kundalini
Kundalini.
awakening, right? Now, it is not as dramatic that someone will put hand on your head and the Kundalini will awaken. No, it's a series of practice. It takes
Hmm.
years of tapacharya. It takes
Yeah.
years of sadhana
Yeah.
to
And it
actually
is
reach
also
there.
not like simple, straightforward that tomorrow you start doing
It's not
energy
linear.
and day after tomorrow
Yeah,
Kundalini awakened. It's not that easy also. It takes a lot of practice, lot of faith,
lot of faith,
lifestyle changes,
lot of sadhana. Sadhana. I
sadhana,
would say that
lifestyle changes also.
you need to,
You cannot keep continuing
yes,
partying and drinking alcohol and smoking and then Kundalini awakening. I mean, I don't know if that happens, but isn't it
so
very,
basically
very pious or very
sacred, very
revered,
sacred. Yeah.
revered
And it's an inward journey. Yes.
journey? Hmm.
It's
It's
an
not.
inward journey. It's a very sacred process. And
Hmm.
often it guidance of a teacher or guidance of a guru who will,
Hmm.
and I always say that the ones who want their Kundalini to be awakened will never get it awakened. The one who will just diligently keep doing their practice without any, um,
Agenda.
uh,
Any
agenda.
specific?
Over a
Huh.
period of time, it does happen. But having said that, I want to tell all my viewers that A, uh, don't be more, um, I would say, don't be amazed in the drama of the Kundalini
Hmm.
awakening. Don't
Hmm.
go there. Two, if you go to any teacher, any person who says that I'll just touch your head and awaken your Kundalini, that doesn't happen.
Hmm.
Most of the time, such people are fake people.
Hmm.
Thirdly, it's a journey. Okay,
Hmm.
never approach spirituality with the end objective as Kundalini awakening, because energies do change.
Hmm.
You will see subtle shifts happening in your body. Always when you work with the energy, with your energy body, make sure it's a very step by step, slow and detailed process.
Yeah.
And don't get fooled by the drama which is thrown around of Kundalini awakening. Okay. And I think if you ask anyone that, if you ask any teacher, like you said, Anna, that people ask us, right, is your Kundalini awakened? Even if people have their Kundalinis awakened, no one is going to say that my Kundalini is awakened. And that's what a true teacher is all about. No one will brag about it. So if you meet someone who says, Ki, my Kundalini is awakened, there are chances that there is some red flag over there. So be careful.
Huh.
And the people whose Kundalinis have really awakened will never brag about it, because with Kundalini awakening comes a level of spiritual wisdom. There comes a level of the person's aura starts looking different. The person becomes more
Yeah.
calm, more composed. So they are
That
not
means
going to throw.
also
Yeah,
it means that they are at the particular level of spirituality where they
yes,
don't need to brag or they don't care about the fame and they are not
correct,
worried
correct,
about holding like 10,000, 20,000 people discourses. All these people, they probably do their work. They teach their students whatever they have, and then they don't make a fuss out of it. They don't want to be the star of the show, but they are doing internal
absolutely.
work. All these basic
Yeah, yeah,
requirements
yeah.
of having spirituality, reaching that point, like renounce ego and don't care about the materialism, don't get caught up in drama, trauma. So they have already achieved it probably. So
Yeah.
therefore, all this list of things. Therefore, their Kundalini has awakened. And then once
Yes.
it's awakened, they won't care about telling everyone that hey, my Kundalini is awakened. I have done this practice. I'm an expert. I wake up at 3 a.m. They are not interested in
That's a
telling
red flag.
to other people.
That is a red flag.
So then,
That's a
if
red flag.
people who actually, make videos about, yeah, so it is a very sacred process, right? It is a
It's a
very
sacred
revered
process. It's
period.
a, yeah, sometimes like my teacher used to say that sometimes it takes lifetime for you to pass through every layer of Kundalini awakening.
Many
So
lifetimes, like, and so maybe in this lifetime you would reach to a certain point, and maybe the journey has to continue to your next lifetime,
yes,
depending on how much progress you are making in your
yes,
spiritual.
yes.
It doesn't
And
happen
also,
in one lifetime, like all together from A to Z.
absolutely, absolutely. Also, the journey is
Unless
not
you are a
linear.
very high level ascended teacher, and then it is a different story. But normal human beings caught up in the material and
And
Maya.
it it's not linear as well. None of our
Hmm.
spiritual journeys are linear.
Hmm.
It's not that कि चलो इधर से इधर आ गया अभी हो गया कुंडली. No,
Hmm.
it's not going to be a linear process.
And it
It's a
will
very
be
in-depth.
different speed for different individuals. It happened to A over 10 lifetimes. That does not mean that it will happen to everyone like that. To B, it could happen in two lifetimes or one lifetime also, depending upon their soul level, their soul journey. And also
Yes.
it would be a gradual process. Is it like that? Or I mean,
It's a
maybe
gradual process.
sometimes
Yeah,
it
yeah, of
happens
course, it's a
fast.
gradual process. It is a
Hmm.
gradual process. Also, the journey of every seeker's Kundalini awakening will be very different because it will depend
Hmm.
on a lot of factors about
Hmm.
what lessons they have learned, what is their purpose of their life,
Hmm.
what purpose they are here on earth. Everyone will have a different experience.
What
A
is their
lot
soul
of
contract?
saints,
What is their
what is
soul
soul
journey?
contract?
Yeah, the
A
one which
lot
we.
of saints, a lot of
Hmm.
ascended masters, when we read, for example, texts like Jnaneshwari, or when
Hmm.
you read any of the texts where any of the masters, Shridas Bodh, all of these messages which the masters have written, the wisdom
Hmm.
what they have written, they did experience a Kundalini awakening, and that's why they shared the wisdom,
Yeah.
right? So at any human level, by the wisdom. So again, I'm again going to quote what my teacher had taught me, that uh, when your heart, when your anahata chakra, it's like a lotus, when it
Hmm.
opens, the
Hmm.
aroma of that spreads so beautifully that people are naturally drawn to you.
Hmm.
And that is a sign of someone who is spiritually awakened. That's a sign of someone who is the kundalini is like a flower which blooms. Like in Lalita
Hmm.
Sahasranama too, it's spoken about how it goes from Mooladhara, and how it goes
Yeah.
from
Travels
Manipura,
down.
and how it
Yes.
goes to the Ajna Chakra, and then it rises above, and Sahasraram
Down.
Bhujaruda Sudha Sara Vibharshini. It's like a nectar which flows. So it's
Flows.
a
Yes.
beautiful process. Yes. So it's a beautiful process. Do not get, the only reason of including this term in our podcast was to tell people that the ones who have Kundalinis awakened will never claim that. And the ones who claim, just be a little careful about them. That's it. Because the true masters will never claim anything. They will just only want to give you wisdom.
Hmm. Hmm. Beautifully explained. Okay, let's go to our next term now. Light worker. Light worker.
Yes. Now, I'm sure many of us have seen our one of the Instagram IDs which we use, which is the on Insight Light Work. And many people ask me, Ashwini, what is light work? What do you mean by light work? Now, consider light work as an umbrella term for healing, helping others, uplifting others, whether it is through healing, whether it is through, energy processes, whether it is through any kind of spiritual sciences like astrology, tarot, angel cards, oracle cards, runes, anything to do with working with crystals, working with essential, or anything to do with work with. So when you put all these terms together, what are these tools? All of these are tools. Whether it is Reiki, energy healing, whether it is crystal healing, whether it is akashic healing, whether it is tarot cards, oracle cards, whether it is astrology, what are these? These are tools. These are simple tools which are used to help uplift or guide others, to help people get unstuck. Because healing technically does not just happen at a physical level. Because when we go to, when we take medicines for, if you have cold and cough, you take medicines, what you're working on? You're working on the physical body. But apart from this, there is emotional body, which is your emotions. There is thoughts, which is your mental body, and there is a spiritual body.
Mm.
Now, light work is the umbrella terms for everything we use to heal, uplift, and guide others, and especially work on the four body system, which will include, of course, the physical, but also mental, emotional, and spiritual. Now, a person who feels called to heal, when we are seeing now in the last 7 years after the pandemic, many people have started connecting to the healing energy, modalities. They have learned about the healing modalities. They are helping others through that. They are helping others with tarot cards, with angel cards, with astrology. And I see a lot of young generation too choosing it. And a collective term for all these methods, for all these tools and techniques is light work. And
Mm.
someone who is helping people to work with all these tools is a light
Mm.
worker. So, in short, light worker is someone who is helping people to go from fear to faith, from
Mm.
darkness to light, from negativity to positivity, and acting as a guide using all these tools. Okay, so there is a Sanskrit prayer which says, Om Asato Mam Sadgamaya, Tamasor Mam Jyotirgamaya, Mrityor Mam Amrutam Gamaya. And that is exactly what, as a
Yeah.
healer or as a light worker, you are doing. You are helping. And what is it that takes someone from darkness to light, from
Mm.
negativity to positivity? It is wisdom.
Yes.
So, light workers are said to have profound wisdom. They may have done this work in several lifetimes. I
Mm.
see that 21, 22-year-old young children are doing this work. And one of my friends was saying that, Arey Ashwini, you are to still, you have been doing this for the last 15 years.
Mm.
I know I have a niece who is just 21. She just started and she's doing this. How can I trust her? And I always say that it's not just that, of course, working in this life and doing the techniques is a good way to practice and build your practice. But having said that, people are now realizing they have gifts at 21, 22.
It's the
And
soul which is
this is
already
a
at
soul.
a higher level of learning, even though they
Yes.
are in the young body, even though they are born like few years back, with 20 years ago, still their soul is at a higher level. It's an old
Their
soul.
soul is at a higher
They
level.
have
They
the
have done this
knowledge
practice.
for
Yeah, and they
many
have practiced it
lifetimes.
many
Yeah,
lifetimes.
yeah. So therefore,
A
they
light worker, basic.
start
Yeah,
teaching earlier in their life.
yeah. And it's good, isn't it? Because I wish that I knew these. I
Yeah,
wish I had met my teacher in my 20s. My 20s, I would have been so good. My 20s were
easier.
really very, very crazy. I feel I was
Mm.
stressed about job, about studies, about this, about that, everything. I wish I would have. I always tell my teacher, I wish I would have met you when I was in college because so many things would have been easier. I wish I knew law of attraction before. I wish I knew about, how the angel cards work. I wish I knew about, uh, you know, um, energy healing systems. I wish I would have given Reiki to myself before exams. My life would have been so much better. But light work, basically, light work is a very powerful term for umbrella term for all these practices. And a light worker is someone who takes someone from fear to faith, from darkness to
Beautiful.
light, from everything which are the false things which we, limiting things to the truth. The truth is there is always light,
Mm.
walking towards light, ascension we spoke about in the last video of this series. So when you walk from darkness to light, that exactly
This
is what a light worker helps.
brings me to explain because light has two meanings, right? Light means one which is sunlight, you know, as opposed to
Yeah.
darkness. That is a light worker. And the other one is heavy and light. So the thing which you feel
Yes.
heavy is not good for
Yes.
you, it's not made for you. And things which make you light and carefree and happy are the things which are for you. So that light
Yes.
also resonates with the light worker.
Absolutely.
Not like the
Absolutely.
works less light worker.
Yes.
Not that.
Yes. Yes.
Not that doesn't mean that. Light worker means
Yeah.
so it's a
Yeah. So,
very simple way of putting it.
and heavy versus light, thank you for sharing that, because in access consciousness there is a very powerful tool which we use. Heavy
Yes.
versus light. What is heavy? Heavy are the emotions which are sadness,
Hmm.
fear, worry,
See,
anger, all
hmm.
of them are heavy emotions.
Hmm.
What are
Yeah,
light
see, all
emotions?
these gossiping, anger, fear, stress, anxiety. sadness, grief, right? All these are negative emotions and heavy emotions. They make you feel heavy. Like fighting with someone makes you feel heavy. Getting angry or gossiping about someone or talking bad, or
Yeah.
over explaining for that matter. Like
Over explaining.
after
Yeah.
making a point again and again, again and again, and nobody's understanding you. All these are heavy things.
Heavy emotions. Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't feel like going to a particular place, like you don't feel like going to a say particular gathering, that means you're feeling heavy about it.
Exactly.
Then the choice should be towards feeling light and
Yes.
doing things and feeling things which make you feel light and happy.
Absolutely. So light are the joy, the happiness, the positivity, feeling enthusiasm, feeling good about something is lightness. So yeah, light workers is one is taking towards the light, and the other light is feeling light, taking you towards joy, taking you towards happiness. Because many people believe that happiness and joy are also, they're your destiny.
Mm,
I think, when you start making new choices, like I said, timeline jump, you can
mm,
reach a point in your life where you can start experiencing happiness
mm,
again. And
mm,
yes, it's very much possible if you walk on the path. That's why they say that when you are in the Anandamay Kosh, which is the eternal state of bliss, when you transcend all the, all the limitations and all the limiting beliefs and everything that weighs you down, and when you go beyond that, you stay in the state of Ananda or
mm,
happiness. Anand is the Sanskrit word for happiness. So light worker is someone who takes you from darkness to light. Asato mam sadgamaya, tamasor mam um, jyotirgamaya, mrityor mam amrutam gamaya. This is a very powerful Sanskrit shlok which says that take me from darkness to light, from falsehood to truth, and
mm,
from Mrityor mam amrutam is where you are, where we talk about the soul's longevity. It is not, you are living as a soul who is living with so much wisdom. And so the best is, I can say, to take someone from ignorance to wisdom. That's the
mm.
best way to look at it.
Thank you, Ashwini. I think we are at the end of this episode. Our time is up. So
Our time is up.
I think we can continue next time. There are a few
Yes,
more terms which would
there are
like
a
to
few
discuss,
more terms.
but
Sure,
we can
sure.
continue next time. And thank you so much, Dr. Ashwini, for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
All
much
the
for being my
beautiful
co-host.
wisdom. I really enjoyed this podcast
Yeah,
and
so did I.
talking with
It was
you.
amazing. Thank you very much, and we will see you in the next episode. Till then,
Our viewers. So, all our viewers, I hope you enjoyed this episode as well. And please listen to our Apple and Spotify podcast if you cannot view the video, if you are busy in times of work and daily life, you can just listen to it as well. If you have any questions, do let us know in the comments, share your experiences, and hope this helps and you get a little more knowledge than you had. Sending lots of love and light from all of us, from Dr. Ashwini and Team Unicorn Insight. Bye bye. Thank you.